So your electrical bill jumped $107 per month. That's $1,284 yearly if you are in Connecticut. Whether you're on a fixed income or managing a household budget, these increases hit directly. So you probably blame inflation or the war in Ukraine. But the real driver is hiding in warehouses across America.
We spent about $86 billion, and it's clear the number is going up. It's going up by, I'd say, a significant margin.
There's a pattern to these increases, and it's been working exactly as designed. You see, that's Microsoft's president admitting they're spending nearly $100 billion a year on data centers. And you're paying for it every month without even knowing it. Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, every Netflix show that you stream, every photo you upload to the cloud, it all lives in massive warehouses called data centers. And these facilities are consuming electricity at a rate that would make entire countries jealous.
The average ChatGPT request requires almost 10 times more electricity than a Google search.
See, 10 times more electricity for one AI response. And most people use ChatGPT dozens of times per day without realizing they're driving up electricity demand across the entire grid. So here's what tech companies might not want you to understand. When they build data centers, they're not paying the full cost of the electricity infrastructure needed to power them. You are.
Connecticut, 71% increase in average residential bills in the last few years. California, 46%. Texas, 27%.
So let me put Connecticut's 71% increase in real numbers. The average Connecticut household pays about $150 per month for electricity. A 71% increase means your bill jumped from $150 to $257 per month. That's an extra $107 every single month, or $1,284 per year. And that's just the beginning. Data centers consume 4% of all U.S. electricity in 2022. And by 2030, they'll consume 9%, more than doubling their share, which means your bills are going to be climbing. But here's the part that you really should know. These companies are strategically choosing where to build to maximize profits while minimizing their costs.
These people are buying all the power, and our rates are going up like crazy. And these data centers actually strategically often pick low-tax, more rural areas.
They're targeting rural communities specifically because land is cheap, and local officials are desperate for any economic development. See, tech companies get massive tax breaks, free land, and discounted electricity rates. But when the power grids get strained, everyone in the region pays higher rates. So these aren't just numbers on your electricity bill. Real people are dealing with the consequences of having industrial-scale computer warehouses dropped into their neighborhoods.
When I go to my room at night, the tonal noise immediately triggered my anxiety to the point where I couldn't sleep. I ended up having to go down on my first floor and put noise-canceling headphones on just so I could sleep.
So that's Donna, a 30-year resident of Prince William County, Virginia. She describes her life next to Google's data centers. The constant noise from cooling systems runs 24/7, 365 days a year. She spent $20,000 on new windows and insulation trying to block the sound, but she still can't sleep in her own bedroom. And Donna's not alone. Carlos moved his entire family to the basement, trying to escape the vibrations from the nearby Amazon data centers. His 7-year-old son was having nightmares, telling his dad there was a spaceship outside. Companies promise jobs and economic development, but the reality is most data centers employ fewer than 150 people permanently. Meanwhile, thousands of residents deal with the noise pollution, increased traffic, and skyrocketing utility bills. So what can you actually do about this? Well, first, understand that this is a policy choice, not a technological inevitability. Some states are fighting back. Ireland now requires new data centers to bring as much additional power capacity to the grid as they consume. That's a real solution. Make the companies pay for their own infrastructure instead of passing costs to residents. Second, get involved locally. These data center proposals go through the County Planning Commission and the City Council. Most get approved because residents don't show up. But when they do organize, companies back down. Google literally withdrew a $1 billion data center proposal in Indiana minutes before the council vote because residents packed the meeting. Third, demand transparency. Many data centers hide behind shell companies and LLCs to avoid scrutiny. Your state representatives can require public disclosure of who's really behind these projects and what their actual power consumption will be. Fourth, support politicians who will reform utility regulation. The current system lets companies socialize infrastructure costs while privatizing profits. States like Maryland and Oregon are exploring utility models that make large industrial users pay their fair share. And finally, consider your own usage. Every AI, image generation, every cloud backup uses 10 times more electricity than traditional computing. So you don't have to stop using these tools, but being conscious of the real cost helps you make better choices. So if you've seen your electrical bill climb while your usage stayed the same, you're not imagining it. The system is designed that way. Tech companies shift infrastructure costs to consumers while keeping the revenue from data centers' operations. And when you understand this cost shifting mechanism, you can push the local policy changes and make data centers pay their share. So subscribe. Every week, we go through breakdowns on electrical bills and data center expansion. I'll show you what affects your monthly utility bills under 10 minutes. Whether you're dealing with rate increases or want to prevent future spikes, you know what's coming and how to respond.